Hello, and welcome back to Ciconia When They Cry. I'll be picking off from last time with chapter 5. Um, Last time we had some interesting lore drops with a familiar face to some, and we had an argument between Jaden and Meow. Um, so let's keep going with chapter 5. And it's Valentine's Day, the day I'm recording this, so I don't know when you'll see it, but happy Valentine's Day. Alright, so we have a quote. The three kings have decided. We command the lords. Prepare for the harvest festival. King of Fury. We have, oh, yeah, I don't think it usually does that. Guys, I don't, I don't think that's normal. Interesting. Well, I know I shouldn't have done that. I texted him to say I was sorry, but he read it and ignored it. Oh, we're back with everyone in the hot tub room or whatever. That's too bad. Even if he ignores them, you should keep texting that you're sorry. I don't remember every voice that I gave last time. I'll try my best, but if it's inconsistent, I apologize. An apology doesn't end when it is made. It ends when the one you're apologizing to forgives you. Is that how it works? Wouldn't it be better to leave him be and give him some time to think? This time, I agree with them. If you get angry and start ignoring him, things like this just tend to get worse. Okay, yes, but they're just telling him to keep texting over and over that he's sorry. I don't know, maybe. Relationships are such a pain, huh? Life should be lived moment by moment, but you keep getting stuck on things and it screws everything up. Well, even if Jaden does apologize for taking a joke too far, that's not the real problem here, is it? True. Jaden, you aren't a CPP, a congenital parallel processor, right? Did he, tell everyone about Meow? I feel like he shouldn't have done that. I mean, I don't know. He didn't know before, and he's his partner, so I don't know. Jaden, okay, whatever. Unless he was like, oh, I have this friend. You guys don't know him. He goes to another military organization. I don't know. We'll see. Quite a few CPPs dislike it when people get confused while interacting with their multiple personalities. Are there any congenital CPPs here now? I don't think you want to be asking that. Not everyone who's come out has enjoyed the experience. That's an interesting way to liken this to, I suppose. Single personalities are a majority in the world at large, but they're a minority among Gauntlet Knights. Well, it just means you've got to treat people differently here. Anyway, you hear this a lot in the world of CPPs. Someone falls in love with one personality, and the other personality starts to hate them. In the world of single personalities, it's not uncommon for people to see their partners in a new light, after noticing that they have an unexpected side to them. When incidents like these happen in the world of romance manga and novels, they inevitably lead to the development of romantic feelings. Oh, I'm sure, already, dissociative identity disorders, stigmatized in certain ways, in the media. I feel like in this universe where it's maybe, I guess, more common in this circle, like they're saying, but I'm sure there are interesting ways that they have of portraying it. However, that only applies when said partner is a single personality. To them, a different personality is the same as a different person. So, when you take your impression of one and force it on the other, they despise it. I get it. If a guy in my class sucked at basketball and someone said I must suck too because I was in his class, it'd piss me off. Meow is Meow. Okay, so he did just say, yeah, this is about everyone's favorite Mitake Meow. Meow is Meow, okay? Perhaps you developed romantic feelings for Meow. and subconsciously started treating Meow as a member of the opposite sex. If you just calmly analyze it like that, it makes me want to find a hole to crawl into. Jaden sank up to his head in the bath. It was just a virtual bath in a virtual room, so he couldn't suffocate or anything. But right then, he was so embarrassed that he didn't want his male friends to see his face. There's no need to be embarrassed. We are soldiers, after all. We may be servants to world peace, but fundamentally, we're in a job where we might lose our lives at any time. I don't think it's a bad idea to experience love while you have the chance. In the end, this is all because I didn't understand anything. It's my fault. At the same time, in the open-air bathroom of the same virtual room, the Gauntlet girls had gathered. The topic of discussion here was the same as the boys. I understand how you feel, but he didn't know. If you get too angry, I'd feel sorry for him. That's right. If you talk to him so harshly, that's just too sad for Jaden. The way his attitude suddenly changed was seriously creepy. We were partners, okay? I trusted him because we were supposed to put our lives in each other's hands. And then he suddenly starts treating me like a girl. It was a shock and it made me so sad. I thought we loved each other like family in the best way possible. I believed we had a trusting relationship that went beyond things like gender. And then he suddenly starts acting like that. Aww. She's also another culprit for me peeking the mic, so I'll be careful. Please have more faith in your partner, Jaden. That's just the sort of creature boys are, suddenly changing when they realize someone's a girl. From now on, he might be like a fox staring down a henhouse. No way! Wow, wow, wow! Meow is a girl, but Meow isn't. This is clearly a case of identity confusion, a human rights violation. This is probably because he wasn't properly educated about CPPs. As long as CPPs continue to hide, instead of furthering understanding in the world at large, this sort of thing will continue to happen. That's all there is to it. But if they do come out, they simply take on a social risk without any benefits. I've ordered my attendants to make sure Jaden fully understands what's going on here. Now that he knows, if he ever does the same thing again, I'll see to it that he's properly punished. Hey, don't do something so ominous to Jaden. I'm sure Jaden will understand. Wow. It's not like I want him to understand me or anything. I was just so horrified. You're horrified that someone thinks of you as a woman? My. So now you're making statements that are prejudiced against women, huh? Okay, that's not really... People only say Big Brother is thin like a woman because he doesn't exercise much. It's not like that. If I exercised and bulked up, then you'd be pissed because our body wouldn't look like a girl. I never said that. You're only thin because you don't exercise. But I'm short, and my arms are short, so even if I finally started exercising, all the buff guys would just make fun of me, and, See, you don't exercise because of your own reasons. Don't use me as an excuse for not doing it. I hate you, Big Brother. I can't believe this. What the hell? Damn it, you want to have a go? Ow! Meow's right and left arms started fighting, pinching their cheeks and pulling their hair, like a single person pantomiming a fight. In other words, the source of their fight wasn't just identity confusion, it was Meow's own inferiority complex about his body. Nice analysis. I can propose a perfect way to resolve this. Wait, what are you trying... are you trying to say we're both at fault here? This isn't Jaden's fault, it's all yours. All you had to do was stop saying things like that, calm down, and show him how to interact with CPPs. Stupid Big Brother. You weak, skinny pipsqueak. Mocking the physical characteristics of someone whose body you share may be a dubious tactic. At any rate, they'd managed to get Meow's side of the story. The girls passed the message on to the guys talking to Jaden with a mental text. Apparently, this group had almost finished getting Jaden's side of the story. Everyone admonished Jaden, making him understand how rude identity confusion was to CPPs. Right now, the impact of Meow's "you're creeping me out" was sinking in, and he was being wrapped in a fierce self-hatred. It's not like you to let it get you down like this. Meow went too far as well. If he doesn't like being called weak, all he has to do is train on his own. The fact that he was so horrified just because he thought someone was treating him like a woman is pathetic for someone who is technically a Japanese boy. If he's so worried about his body, you should just train him up good at a gym or something. It sounds like he wants to be treated like a man, so whip him into shape. If that's what he wants, then sure. I won't hold back. I just discussed this with Naomi, and we agreed that a male bonding ceremony would be the best way for you two to make up. Nice! Go sweat together as men. It's the best way to make up. What do you mean, male bonding ceremony? In old Japanese manga, men who had grown distant would always resolve their problems like this. We can advise you in this virtual room, but our bodies are far away. We can't help you directly. So, we're going to get a trustworthy friend, Gunhild, to set the stage. Is she trustworthy? In this, I don't know, I feel like, we'll see. Huh? You're bringing Gunhild into this? I'd rather not tell the others in the AOU if I can help it. Don't worry, she understands you two far better than you know. I just texted her. Guys, unless Stanislaw and Gunhild are the moles, so they know each other and they know everything. But I still think it's Chloe, maybe. But I don't know. I guess we can look at the others a little bit, try to guess, but really I have no idea. I feel like, I don't know, in this one, I feel like since it was prophesized or whatever that Meow will kill Link G, I feel like she probably is not the mole. And Momotake is just too earnest and funny, where I'm like, I feel like maybe not him either, but the rest, I don't know. Probably, I really have no idea. Like, I could say it's probably not Naima, and like, then she'll be like, it was you guys. I mean, I don't know. It's just, like, they all seem like such good friends. I don't want to believe that any of them are, like, imposters. I mean, I don't know if, like, you know, like, I guess for Meow, like, they've been hinting that, like, you know, he has another identity as well. Like, that's, like, not evil, but, like, you know, trying to warn him about, like, the situation. So maybe in that sense, like, he could be the mole without knowing it, but like maybe something was like done to him. And if it's like that, then it's not really like a, you know, like a, oh, I'm intentionally being like malicious. It's more just like, you know, this is predetermined, I guess, whether they like it or not. I don't know. Just still thinking about it. But yes, I just texted her. Now, you only need to obey her instructions. Okay. He wasn't quite satisfied with this, but a text from Gunhild came almost immediately. You've received the message, Poyo! This is Gunhild. I asked that Meow and Jaden gather here immediately. Gather where? There was a blip on the map screen. Isn't that... I don't really get it, but I'll head on over. Everyone. Thanks for hearing me out. Don't worry about it, young man. Life seems long, but it's shorter than you think. Enjoy your ignorant youth to the fullest. Jaden has exited the room. Who are you calling young man, young man? A short while after Jaden left, the girls who had been listening to Meow and Meow joined them. This will probably get their feelings back on the right track. Cases that can't be handled with medicine really make your back ache. When friends make up, they become even better friends. Ow! I hope they do. Meow really does love his partner, doesn't he? I suppose it's that trust that lets them fight the way they do. I've known it ever since the Battle Standard Festival. when it comes to bonds of trust. We of Baibao Squad are in no way inferior, princess.
Omatake, I guess you'll never give in on that point.
Okay then, I'll leave too and look after the two ladies from Ciconia. They're both so serious, they'll suffocate if I don't tease them.
We shall leave too. Come now, back to training. Our next mock enemy is AOU America's Atlantic Fleet.
Whoa, princess. That's a bit harsh, 5 seconds after we helped Jaden of AOU America sort out his personal issues. Come on. You just know those AOUs are training for an assault on the Atlantis Spirit Field. I'd guess the ABN's doing an assault on Algiers, and the COU's doing a mine blockade of the Mozambique Channel.
My, I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, pardon me while I go memorize the Maputo Central Harbor layout.
I like Aisha too, she's silly.
We also undergo training using other factions as mock enemies. It's no surprise that the same thing happens in reverse. We're all doing it. Even though we're all comrades who love the sky, and even though we do this job for the sake of peace, we're still soldiers. Understanding why it's like that doesn't make it any less tough.
The walls of peace are heavy. We all have to get stronger if we're going to support them from both sides.
Of course! When two combatants raise their swords at each other, it's essential that both sides have properly honed their skills. That sort of determination is essential both for military might and for comrades supporting the walls of peace.
That's not his voice. Indeed. Remaining attentive and not slacking off in your training is the best way for warriors to show respect for each other.
Correct. Nothing would humiliate me more than hearing that the COU wasn't even worth training against. Hey, that's enough talking about scary things! Well. It's a rap public bath. We all swore with Meow that we'd be friends. So stop singing scary stuff! Wow!
You're right. That public bath oath is the most important one we've made, and it binds everyone here together.
For now, let's put aside affiliations and factions, and pray that our friends Meow and Jaden make up okay. Yes, and let's be glad that we were able to help. Okay, then we'll just head back to that mine-laying simulation in the whatever channel. See you later, everyone!
One by one, they all vanished from the room. And then there were none, leaving the virtual room wrapped in silence, except for the sound of the baths. Not the wind sound effect. Scary! Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, that's interesting. That's like in the other room that we were shown before, like the underground thing. I wasn't sure. I guess I can look now and see how I remember them. But I wasn't sure if like the other like blank faces or whatever belonged to like other Gauntlet Knights. I remember one had braids, so maybe it was Lingji, but I don't know if it was like exactly like this. I don't know. And maybe Moore was one of them. I don't remember too well. I guess now's a great time to go back to my other video and look. But that's interesting, because that would, cover a few of them if we're talking about the moles or whatever. Anyways.
It really is weird, this era. Just a little. You're wondering about how I look? It was getting confusing, so I sorta had this made to match my tastes. Think it looks good on me? Well, I really couldn't care less what you think.
Are you talking to me?
All that matters is whether I like it or not.
I mean, true.
Still, this really is a strange era. After all, you're all soldiers, right? Isn't it your job to defeat your opponents in war? Even if you try to cover it up with all this talk about supporting the walls of peace together and being servants of international peace, defeating enemies is a soldier's job. They probably all believe that, even if war does break out, they'll be able to handle it neatly and beautifully thanks to this sportsmanship. However, the cost of that foolishness will soon be paid at a higher price than you've ever imagined. There's no way. Oh, I guess this is like, army out. There's no way that'll happen. We're all friends. We swore that to each other. Even if a conflict erupts, we definitely won't kill each other. You act like this nonsense is a prediction, but none of it will ever happen. This is probably a misunderstanding peculiar to Japanese.
Yogen and Yogen are both pronounced Yogen, but their meaning is entirely different.
Do you know what the difference is?
I don't want to talk to you. Disappear! Disappear!
Well, I don't really care whether you ask or not. I'm talking because I want to. So, about the difference between Yogen and Yogen. Yogen means what you think it does. It's making a prediction about the future and telling someone about it. That prediction might be right, or it might not. But Yogen is different.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing the nuances or whatever, but forgive me.
Yogen means prophecy, receiving words from God. God is omnipotent and also knows everything about the future. So, the words of God are a promise about the future. When you receive those words from God and speak them, it becomes Yogen, a prophecy.
It's more translation stuff, maybe? Like how they were talking about translating genius? I don't know.
My words are a prophecy. They're an announcement about a promised future. It doesn't matter whether you believe me or not. No matter what happens, everything will turn out the way I said. Right now, the world is still moving slowly. It may not look like the sort of environment a war could break out in, but behind the stage where you innocently play at being friends, the world is slowly preparing to become a place where people hate each other. Who would do something like that? Do you know about the Three Kings? They're the old people who claim to be the guides of humanity across the globe. Their ultimate goal is to get the whole world to fight at once, and then destroy everything by their own hands. For that reason, those old people, or
I might have read that wrong, because I guess when it says like meow in the text box with quotes, it's this one, and otherwise it's like, our meow thinking. So I guess maybe meow knows about them. I don't know. This is obviously a little confusing, maybe on purpose, but anyways.
For that reason, those old people have already made extensive preparations. And very soon, it will become real. When that happens, all this pretending to be friends for the sake of international peace will be over. All those people who looked like they were giving advice about romance or something just now will be torn apart from each other in a bloody fight to the death. They'll experience anger and sadness, countless negative emotions, and pathetically kill each other. We won't! We definitely won't! We'll never kill each other! How the hell could we? Very, very soon, hell will come to this earth. I'll never believe in a hell like that. I'll prevent it. I'll put a stop to it. I'll avoid it. No matter what, I'll definitely avoid that hell. That fate. Listen, my adorable meow. Your highest priority goal is to stop this hell before it happens, using any means necessary.
Don't tell him to kill himself. Oh my gosh.
The only way to succeed in that is to kill them. You must find them and kill them.
Or maybe someone else. I don't know. Or last time he was like, yeah, you just have to destroy yourself. Anyways, not to interrupt this scene.
You may do whatever is necessary to accomplish that. No matter whom you have to kill or what you have to break, there is no need to hold back. Kill them. That's the only way to avoid that hell. Kill the three kings. Kill them.
Oh.
When love is on your side, age and height are no barrier. Neither nationality nor race can stand between a couple. Even religion and gender can't tear apart two people who love each other. Yeah, we'll support any kind of love. We're the ultimate cheerleaders for all couples in love. Yellow don't chubby! Bringing the heat. We're here! So, where are they? Where are the ALU pretty boys who awaken to love between men? Now that we're here to support you, have no fear. Our 550mm torpedoes will burst through all barriers to love. Searching for target. Oh, forget the target. There isn't anyone here at all. We never stand idle in a place lacking love. We're the Comet Girls, Yellow Don't Chubby. Resuming search for love. Yellow Don't Chubby, bringing the heat. Hello. Leia, Fatma, and Ciconia have left the room. The number of participants in virtual room, It's a Wrap Public Bath, is now 0. Entering sleep mode.
Yeah, this is all normal, guys. I assume this is still Meow.
They're all going to die. If you want to avoid this hell, you have to kill them. Or if that's impossible, yourself.
Okay, yeah, that's what they were talking about last time. I would like to think there's a way to avoid either of those. Boom, bang, crash! Hey, what's wrong, Meow-chan? Is that all? Gonna go to bed like a little girl?
Shut up! I'm a man!
Whack, whack, bam, bam, bam! The two of them were in the training room ring, punching each other while wearing gloves and headgear. Apparently, they'd been at it for a while. Both of them were covered in sweat. I see. Like Stan said, the best way for boys to restore their friendship is a good dash of fatigue and the release of their fighting instincts.
Don't underestimate me just because I'm short. You asshole! You asshole!
Damn it, my gloves are too heavy. Isn't this too much of a handicap?
If you start losing, are you gonna blame your gloves? Even your excuses are super genius class.
God damn it, this tiny brat's so full of himself. Okay, I really will punch you, beat the crap out of you. Oh, I'm totally sorry if I'm yelling into the mic and it's making it sound weird. I don't know. I'm still getting used to volume control with the microphone. Well, I don't know.
Stop it, Jaden.
Huh? Meow?
Gotcha!
Bang! A cross counter. Or it would have been if Meow's arm were a bit longer. Jaden's left straight had beautifully lined up on Meow's face, but as usual, Meow's right straight hadn't been long enough to reach. With a thunk, Meow fell spread-eagled to the ground.
Damn it! Get me a saw! A chainsaw! I'm cutting this right arm off! I'll turn it into a rocket fist!
I'm not gonna fall for that, Meow. I've already memorized the difference between how you and Meow talk.
Oh, really? I'm so happy for you.
Pixnosy. If you're that worried about your flimsy body, I'll train you like they do in the Navy. Don't start crying, okay?
And if Meow starts crying from the muscle pain, how are you gonna take responsibility?
I'll gently massage it until she gets better. But I won't do it for you, Meow. You can go rub indomethacin lotion on it all by your lovely self.
Damn it! I'll train like hell! I'll definitely protect Meow from beasts like you! Jaden's your partner, isn't he? How dare you call him a beast? There is no point treating this kind of dumbass like a human! How can you say that about the partner who's done so much for you? Stupid big brother, you dummy! Ow, don't pinch me! Ow, ow, ow! Jaden, keep training big brother, okay? The truth is, he's feeling a bit relieved right now, and he's grateful.
Sure, leave it to me. I dedicate this victory to you, Meow.
Thanks!
That's Japan for you. I never thought I'd see a romantic comedy comic strip from the 20th century play out in real life. I'm jealous. Silly, silly. Whoa, this is interesting music. Are we at the beach? Hey, senor! Tojiro, how have you been? Oh, hello. Hello, you. Well, you're enthusiastic, as I'd expect from a Latin American country. Someone might think we've been close friends for a decade. Or maybe... I don't know. I'm getting a little confused. We'll just see who this is. I didn't think I'd ever see you again alive! This was Lato, Brazil. In the A3W world, anyone picturing a resort would think of Latin America. Latin America had managed to preserve the most beautiful environments and air quality, as well as gorgeous vistas, making it a vacation destination for VIPs across the world. It would be no exaggeration to say that spending the rest of one's life in a high-class Latin American resort was the ultimate goal of many. The countries on the South American continent, which was the only one that had spirit fields of high-purity rare spiridium, were considered the most prosperous in the world. They were paradise nations, a fifth faction, which managed to maintain favorable relationships with all factions in a world where the other four factions were always quarreling. At a glance, it was hard to imagine what connection there might be between Tojiro, who was well dressed despite this heat and pulling a wheeled bag behind him, and this man, who looked like he lived every day to the fullest in casual clothes. The pair entered the lobby of the high-class hotel where the cheery man was staying and relaxed on an expensive sofa. Tojiro, you should quit your business too and come over to Lato. It's great here, just heavenly. Sadly, I don't have the kind of vast wealth you need to apply for immigration to Lato. Just go make friends with the big-breasted, big-assed girls on that beach over there, okay? If you marry into their family, that'll get you citizenship. All Lato girls dream of falling in love with foreign billionaires. I'm not sure about that. And that explains all those strangely appraising girls not girls looks I got on the beach. They've got good eyes. One look at the material of my clothes and they knew I wasn't rich enough to be worth talking to. You really are a hoot, Tojiro! Okay. The hotel bar was filled with relaxed Latin music that would satisfy the heart of any hard-boiled man. After the two men brought their glasses together, they silently enjoyed the atmosphere and their drinks for a while. In an era where you could say things with your brain, it was customary to refrain from speaking anything but your orders in places where silence was treasured. So, each of the guests experienced the place in their own ways, and they were able to enjoy their conversations without interfering with anyone. So, were you able to play that musical score? That was one hell of a score you found. I doubt there are even 5 people in the world who could perform that. Then I'm glad one of those 5 people owes me a favor. After all, a score is just a piece of paper if no one can perform it.
You've received 13 data items, Poyo.
Still, where on earth did you find this? These are 8MS blueprints. Each one was an environmental 8MS blueprint maintained by nationally supported businesses from various countries.
Now showing a preview of 13 items, Poyo.
So it seems. Oh, that's not Keto Poyo. Only a few organizations manage 8MS blueprints, and they're all supposed to be government-supported and tightly controlled by their countries. How did you get these? Who knows? It's a business secret. 8MS. Yeah, also called AMIS. Okay, I will try to pronounce it that way from now on. Its official name was the 8 Million System. It was a system of environmental nanomachines developed by the Yayorozu nanotech firm in B3W, Japan. The AMIS had self-replicated repeatedly eventually filling the atmosphere all over the planet. This groundbreaking system was capable of doing all sorts of things when instructed. It was almost like an OS that had been installed into the environment itself. That's crazy. It uses included communication, obviously, but also purification of the air and water, reduction of ultraviolet rays, medical applications, and eventually military applications as well. Its initial development had proceeded quickly, but scientists fearful of grey goo had kicked off a worldwide anti-nanomachine campaign, so it was kept from the light of day for a long time. However, when World War III ended, the world was faced with the prospect of imminent extinction. A nuclear winter had begun, starting the countdown to the world's end. While the political debate over its use was still ongoing, the 8MS had been distributed across the whole world, and it began purifying the atmosphere. As a result, the globe did not freeze over. The countless gods known as Amos filled the air. Oh, I think I missed saying it like that earlier. Raising the curtain on a new world. Just as oxygen and nitrogen had existed in the atmosphere, so too did Amos now exist. Of course, it existed in all regions of the world, but it also existed as high as the stratosphere and as low as the bottom of the ocean. And, naturally, it was inside the human body as well. Some had worried that knowledge of strange nanomachines filling everything from the atmosphere to people's bodies would trigger humanity's nanomachine allergy once again. All A3W governments hid this fact, but some scientists eventually made it public. The masses, knowing that nanomachines had been put into their bodies without their knowledge, and fearing that some sort of accident or malicious act might lead to tragedy, flew into a panic. For several decades, it was used as a magic word by certain kinds of paranoids, conspiracy theorists, and newscasters, one that was used to explain all sorts of unpleasant, unknown things. However, 100 years had passed since then without anything major happening. The generation afflicted by nanomachine allergies came and went. Nanomachines infected the entire planet, and the phobia of grey goo turning everything else into nanomachines was now viewed as a complete joke. It was just like in the 20th century, when some people thought that letting off an H-bomb would cause a chain reaction with all the hydrogen on the planet and destroy the world. That opinion was also viewed as a complete joke later on. Now, no one thought much of the fact that countless nanomachines drifted throughout the atmosphere in their bodies. Nanomachines aside, humanity had always coexisted with all sorts of bacteria and viruses. And so, a murderous Amos was simply added to the list of things an evil terrorist might develop in a spy novel, alongside nukes and killer viruses. Of course, it isn't actually that simple. In the first place, developing Amos requires cutting-edge research facilities and human resources, as well as a massive budget. Only the major countries from each faction are capable of that. And it's managed by the IPMA, and all countries observe each other's work. You couldn't possibly develop a malicious Amos. Well, that's true enough. Still, if that's the case, what on earth was he thinking, the guy who got his hands on this heavily compressed file? Maybe he's a super hacker who somehow thought he could sell it for money. So he's both a super genius who can get into the super secure Amos management servers, and a total moron who actually thinks he can make a profit off it? Several Amos blueprints were shared between Amos research facilities across all the world's factions, under the management of the IPMA. So, pre-existing Amos blueprints were something all factions already had. Even if this hacker had retrieved it so some terrorists could start developing a malicious Amos, they wouldn't be able to get their hands on the facilities or human resources necessary for such development, making the whole thing pointless. Though the blueprints were managed quite carefully, they weren't worth any money. It was like stealing semiconductor techniques that had already been patented. Those were already public knowledge in the semiconductor industry, and even if someone outside the industry found blueprints for those techniques, they wouldn't do them any good at home or at the dinner table. I wonder what the guy who stole this was thinking. Well, this is just a theory of mine, but one of the blueprints is called Artemis. A water purification Amos. That was a registered trademark of ACR South Africa's state-managed Amos program. There's also Sistema Kirar, Pal 1.02, and Einzijam. Those are air purification Amos from Lato, Argentina, COU Singapore, and COU Saudi Arabia. There was a lot more, but they were all Amos blueprints related to atmospheric improvement. In other words, some mysterious terrorist wants to take advantage of that to create some kind of environment-destroying Amos. And then they'll use that to launch a massive attack on the world's food-producing regions, triggering a world panic. Nice, Forsyth would have loved this stuff. Water and air are essential to human life. If we lose those, we're screwed. I'll bet the terrorists are jealous of Lato's beautiful paradise and are planning to destroy it. But you're still talking about a dream, right? Every lab on Earth is under close observation. There doesn't exist an institution anywhere that could develop something like an environment-destroying Amos. Maybe. But you know what, Tojiro? Even if it was impossible for every lab on Earth, a secret lab beneath the Earth might be a different story, right? I might know one of those. Huh? What are you talking about? My Kizuna translates your Portuguese weird sometimes. Does he know? Chat, does he know? I'm sorry, Tojiro. Looks like my next appointment has arrived. Mind if I include the bill from here as part of my fee? That explains why you were going for the expensive stuff. Obrigado! Ate logo! The cheery man left the bar with the same cheeriness he'd had when he first appeared. Now that the energetic man was gone, Tojiro was finally able to slowly soak in the bar's atmosphere. Then, the scent of a passionate perfume hit his nose. An attractive Brazilian woman had sat down in the seat vacated by the cheery man. Tojiro raised his glass and winked at her. Okay. Hi there, young lady. Would you care for a drink? Oh, it's Valentina. Gladly. Now, what shall I have? How about a milkshake? As laid back as Lato is, it's probably not a good idea to drink alcohol on the job. By this point, she wasn't alone. Several MPs from the Lato military were with her too. Welcome to Lato, Brazil, senor. If you had told us you were coming, we could have given you a proper welcome. Well, now that I know there's a beautiful beauty like you here to welcome me, I'll do that next time. His Excellency has said he wishes to invite you to dinner. I really don't remember what voice I gave her, I'm sorry. Will you come with us? Works for me. If you'll be joining us in an evening dress, that is. Oh, Tojiro, come on! Senor says he'll gladly come with us. Sergeant, take his baggage, and see if any of his luggage has arrived at the room he was supposed to be spending the night in. Nice, just what I'd expect from a resort country. The service here is great. Tojiro set his empty glass on the counter, and calmly stood up. The MPs walked right next to him on either side. Okay, and that's the end of the chapter. So, well, let's see what happens. Because I know chapter 7 is like the last one currently that, you know, they would like people to upload. But it said it would like say when that point came, so I'm guessing that that's after chapter 7, but we'll see. But I'll keep recording it as I play and keep those recordings to myself unless, you know, they lift those restrictions. But we're getting there. Things are getting crazy. I appreciate you bearing with me as I go through this, but I'm having fun overall. I'm looking forward to seeing more and how they handle certain things because it's true, there are a lot of complicated topics being brought up. I hope I'm also, you know, like commentating on them with justly, I guess would be the word. But yes, I'm very intrigued. I can, if nothing else, I can tell how much thought was put into this entire, like, you know, the world building of this time period. So, the setting, I should say. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time with chapter 7, unless I lost count somewhere, but that's what I'm gonna assume. So thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.